It's a cold night. Matter of fact, our monitor froze. We don't even see ourselves. This is the first time since Little Z's been on the show. So welcome to Verizon 32, Comcast 7, and check us out on Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. We have a great show. Thanks for watching. We're going to heat you up with some of our picks. We got Super Bowl picks. We're going to talk plenty from baseball, Penguins, you name it. We're going to cover most of that. Keep watching. Don't change that dial. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Zach Brenner. And we always start the first segment out with what's on our mind. And we're not going to talk the weather this week because I already mentioned it to get it out of the way. Little Z, what's on your mind?
Well, Al Levine, I'm glad you asked me what's on my mind. I got a lot on my mind tonight, folks. And I'm going to tell you more than one thing because they say I don't get to talk enough on the show. So we're going to start the show tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about Marc-Andre Fleury. There was a lot of Fleury haters to start the season coming into this season that believed that we should go with Thomas Vokoun before he got his mystery ailment or blood clot or whatever that was that he got diagnosed with. I didn't go to Johns Hopkins for medicine, so I'm not really sure what the true diagnosis was. Maybe Al Levine could shed some light on the revisitation later on in the show.
Blood clot. I won't waste any time.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Levine. But I just want to briefly mention that right now Marc-Andre Fleury has a leading 29 wins as of last night. He currently has a 9.17 save percentage and a 2.26 goals against average, which are pretty good for a goaltender in the NHL right now. So he's playing pretty solid. A couple other things on my mind as we go along here, aside from Marc-Andre Fleury. I told you folks that the measuring stick for the ACC wasn't just going to be Syracuse. It was also going to be Duke, the Blue Devils, and Pitt's not ready in the ACC because they couldn't beat Duke last night, as predicted by me. I said that was going to be the stick, and we didn't live up to that last night. A couple other things. The Pro Bowl's a joke. Everybody who likes this show and is happy that I'm a part of it should thank Local Pro Boxing, because if it wasn't for Local Pro Boxing, I wouldn't even be on this show. We don't even know what it would be like if I wasn't here. And the last thing that's on my mind, and this goes to Chip Hayner. I was doing a little research today, and the Pirates are not spending any of that money that they made off of you and the Hainers from attending all those games last season. Milwaukee Brewers are making moves. They've even gotten better than the Pirates. So that's everything that's on my mind right now. The Buccos aren't spending any of that money they got.
Thanks, Little Z. We're going to revisit a couple of those points, I guarantee you.
Thanks.
And I'm glad you kept it under 5 subjects. So that's not bad, because some of us hit more than that.
Appreciate
me included.
Thanks.
Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got the Levine.
Look at the hands he got.
Look at those hands, folks.
I wanted to give a shout out to a good friend of the show, Robin Clark, who watches us live each and every Tuesday. Hi, Miss Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Also, last week I was going to go get me a 36-ounce steak at Jerome Bettis' restaurant, but I decided to go to Mike Dicker's restaurant because I wanted to eat dinner with a Hall of Famer. But hey, everybody's been wanting me to say,
What? Tell us.
This is what's been going on in Black History Week. This week in Black History in 1948, Chip. This week in 1948, two-time heavyweight champion George Foreman was born. And this is what's on my mind. Peyton Manning is on my mind. And the Super Bowl's this week. And just to briefly break the game down to you. In football, there's 4 different speeds. Preseason speed, Peyton's great at that. Regular season speed, greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Playoff speed, he's been 8 one-and-dones in his career. And Super Bowl speed. And you're going to see, which I have heavy money on the Seattle Seahawks.
Still.
And the reason for that, Peyton Manning has 65,000 career passing yards, which is outstanding. 500 touchdowns, which is outstanding. He's 37 years old, only has 1 Super Bowl win, never won a national never won a national championship in college or an SEC title. And because the speed of the game was too much for him against the University of Florida, he was 0-4 against them. And in big games, finally, if I had one game to win, I would choose Andy Dalton over Peyton Manning. And that's what's on my mind.
Holy what? Smoking Jim, we're gonna revisit that. And I know you're a sincere guy. I just want to see what heavy money is.
I want to see him cook up some work on the Foreman grill.
We'll get in there. Now, forget the Foreman grill. He doesn't cook. We'll cover that later in our cooking segment. Chip the Prophet Hainer, what's on your mind?
Thank you, Alan, and
thank you.
welcome everybody. And I'm not going to talk about the weather. What I'm going to talk about is something warmer and nearer and dear to my heart. 17 days before pitchers and catchers report to spring training. I am very much looking forward to the Pittsburgh Pirates season this year. I believe that they're going to take it one step better than they did last year. And I wanted to touch on a couple of subjects here first. There was a report out, and this was reported via Twitter, and it was reported by a source that A.J. Burnett has said that he will pitch in 2014, and that he may be open to pitch for somebody other than the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I know that this subject will become the topic of all of the radio talk shows tomorrow. And we're going to hear Pittsburghers badmouth A.J. Burnett. We're going to hear Pittsburghers badmouth the Pittsburgh Pirates. And, and to be honest with you, this is not anything that was reported from A.J. Burnett. This was a reporter that had a source, and, and this is what's reported. And this is what my take is on all of this. A.J. Burnett has decided that he wants to pitch this year, and he's earned the right after all the years that he's been in the major leagues. He's a free agent to take as much time as he wanted to come to his decision. A.J. Burnett owes the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing, and the Pittsburgh Pirates owe A.J. Burnett absolutely nothing. A.J. Burnett pitched for the Pirates for 2 years, and he fulfilled to the letter of his contract everything that was expected and required of him. What A.J. Burnett did for the Pirates was he helped to change a losing culture that had been hanging over this team for 18 years prior to him coming here. Okay? Now, I believe that the Pittsburgh Pirates will get the first shot at A.J. Burnett. They will either be able to work out a deal with him, or they will be able to not work out a deal with him. And if they do work out a deal with him, I would love to have him on our pitching staff. I think he brings a lot to the team. But if we don't have him, I still think the Pirates are going to be successful. And if the Pirates choose not to sign him, they have a dollar figure in their mind, which I don't know, nobody else here knows, of what they're willing to pay for his services. Now, A.J. Burnett, may end up getting $20 million from somebody. And if A.J. Burnett took that money from somebody, even after he said last fall that he was going to decide whether he was going to ever pitch again or retire, or if he's going to pitch for anybody of the Pirates, his loyalty lies with his family and what's best for him. And if somebody's going to throw that kind of money at him, hey, God bless him. I thank him for everything that he did here. And, the Pirates will move on. And the Pirates are going to have a successful pitching staff this year. Ray Searage and his underlings, they do a great job with these reclamation projects. The Pirates are going to do fine. And last but not least, I want to just make a comment about Zach's comment, because I had this comment with somebody. I had this conversation with somebody earlier this week. And, he said to me, he goes, I just wish the Pirates would spend more money. And let me tell you something. Spending more money does not guarantee that you're going to have success or that you're even spending the money wisely. Spending the money because you've got the money to spend and spending it foolishly is the worst thing this franchise could do. The Pirates have a plan. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because look where they've come in the last 4 years. Look at the direction they're heading. They've got a plan. It's going to be done within a budget, and it's going to make sense. And the Pirates are going to win the Central Division this year. Mark it down.
Well, I appreciate that, Chip. If anybody wants to call in before the revisitation, thanks, John. I appreciate that. 412-831-3304. Call in and voice some of your information that you have.
Frustration on the nuttings.
Well, your thoughts and finding out about heavy money. That's one of my key questions.
Heavy money.
Just trying to find out. And Devin Ward has just made it in the building. Appreciate it, Devin.
Ward?
Try not to get him on
It's a
camera.
combination of Aaron and Devin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of thanks to Aaron Ward, we got the show, but Devin's here now. I apologize to Devin.
Jealous.
No, there's no marriage there. I'm just a little frozen here.
Macklemore would like that.
You want to hold that up for me? Thanks.
Wow, there we go.
What's on my mind is Sammy Vasquez. The boxer was at our show last night with his trainer Muscles, and he told us about his fight Saturday night. If you can get a close-up, John, are you getting a close-up on there? You're right there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Devin Shea, thank you. Thanks for throwing that. That hit me, but we're good. Now, this fight will be Saturday night, and that's in Elizabeth. I forget the venue. What is that? The Court Time Sports Complex. We're there for
Smoking
fights.
Jim's been there before.
And that's how we met Little Z. That's how I met Little Z. And he's been with us a year. I can't get rid of him now. He's a fixture. People love him. He's on double secret probation. I finally took him off of that. So he's a regular. But this fight, they'll open the doors at 5:30. Sammy's the feature fight. He's stepping up in a weight class, 151. He's going to fight a guy 6'1", and Sammy's not that tall at this point. And it's going to be a great fight. I recommend you get out there. The tickets are selling fast. You might want to call this number if you didn't see it on here. It's 724-797-8694. Call the Vasquez team, because who can?
Mexican.
And that's what's on my mind, folks. We'll see you there at the fight Saturday
Has
night.
there ever been a tall Mexican fighter? I'm trying to think.
Pancho Villa. He was 6'2",
Alexis Arguello.
packing a lot of guns, and he had heavy money he stole from the U.S.
Alexis Arguello.
And that's in the
you know,
history book.
You could have
Let's
heavy
revisit.
money. You know, you could take a rock and wrap a couple ones around it and have heavy money.
Hey, but can you wrap Play-Doh around it? Or put Play-Doh in the middle of it? Because
Yeah,
it looks
it'll
sort of like
get hard,
Play-Doh
and it'll
last
be
night.
heavy money too.
That's my point. Last night it looked like it. Hey, I want to revisit some of this Bucko talk. All right? AJ Burnett, people talk about him. Hey, thanks for the camera. Being on another. This is live
This
TV,
is live,
folks.
folks.
You're not seeing this, but I'm glad you're seeing me. Or maybe you are. We don't know.
We don't know what you're saying.
We appreciate it. Devin Shea's in here supervising me to keep me looking at the camera. With AJ Burnett, they brought him here. His wage was subsidized. His salary was subsidized. That's part of why he came here. He also was failing in a big market. He was a competitor in a smaller market, Toronto, won a World Series and everything else. And there were all kind of bad rumors about him. Not only did he help us, we helped him. It was a mutual type of thing. I have a lot of respect for him. Hey, he struck out more guys than he ever had last year, I think, 209 strikeouts. So it showed he could do that. He's an inning eater, but for $14 million a year, they're going to get somebody for $5 million, $7 million. They don't really care. Let somebody eat the innings. He had bad luck, and I can't help that. Who knows with teams? Look at Cy Young. I posted Cy Young. There's a guy that had an award named after him. He won over 500 wins. Now, did he have good teams, or was it just good pitching? Maybe it's both. So these things happen. We've all played sports here. You hear on our show about, I won't mention the two teams that the guys over there fight about. Some are good, some are bad. You have good players, bad players.
Some are on TV, some aren't.
Well, some are coaching, some aren't. Some are unemployed, now they're working. But we'll talk about that later. Some are on TV every day, and you can see them, and it's amazing. But what can I say? You know, there's all kind of stuff like that. But my point with the Pirates, as far as them spending money, we know they're not going to be the top team spending money. Look at what happens when the Yankees sign one player, $155 million. There's no way our budget, if we hit $80 million, I'm thankful. And that's just with our guys going to arbitration and getting their pay raises like they're supposed to. That could happen. So what are the Pirates going to do? They're going to try to use that farm club that they've been bragging about in the Major League Baseball, change the rules so they can't have a stockpile of talent there. Is the talent any good? Who knows in baseball? Most guys that you draft number one, you never even see them in the major leagues. And among the other draft picks, that's how it goes. But the Pirates are going to do what they think is the best thing to do. In my opinion, I have no idea whether it's going to work. Their 5-year plan was like 6, almost 7 years. But did they have success? Yes. Am I thankful? Definitely. Did I drink Chips Kool-Aid and the Pirate Kool-Aid? Yes. Now this year, are they going to have a winning record? I think they'll win less than they won last year. That's what my prediction is. As soon as I see some of these players that are going to go, to the first game, because spring training doesn't mean too much, because they know certain players. But once they go through spring training and find out the roster, we'll be able to figure out. I'll make a prediction and maybe bet Chip, or maybe I won't make a bet because I did drink a lot of that Kool-Aid. I'm hopeful that they can have a winning year. I'm hopeful that they'll sign some players in the weak spots that they have, or some of these young guys can actually produce this year. It's about time. And for A.J. Burnett, I wish him well, but there's no way they're going to give him $14 million. And if he gets 15 somewhere else or more,
can you blame him for going after the money?
I don't blame
if he does.
anybody. There's no loyalty, it's business.
But
and that's what I wanted to get my point out
nobody
there.
ever expected the Pirates to go out and spend the kind of money that the New York Yankees spend. But for Pete's sakes, they have not addressed any of the deficiencies from last season. Could you name me any of the deficiencies that they've addressed in the free agent market and brought in anybody that's going to make us better than we were last year right now?
Okay.
No.
Was there anybody in the free agent market that was going to guarantee us to be better than there was? And the answer to that question is no. The people that were available in the free agent market, you would have overpaid for people that were underperformed. And the Pirates have done that in the past.
You don't think the Brewers? You don't think the Brewers have gone out and made significant strides in the offseason?
The Brewers are going to even be in the conversation when it comes to the Central Division this year. I think the Brewers and the Cubs are going to be the bottom feeders. I think the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Pirates are going to be fighting for the division crown, just like we did last year.
I'm worried about the Cardinals, and I'm worried about the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we can hold the same wins and get around 90. I'm hopeful with that.
Hey, do you think Brian Braun's going to perform as well as he did when he was juicing?
I think he'll actually be better because they already got some other stuff that works.
They've already changed the formula.
It's a little different concoction that they'll do, and everybody's looking for an edge in sports.
I'd like to change directions on this in the revisitation, and I'm not saying this, and believe me, I am a huge Marc-Andre Fleury fan, and I know how much Zach supports Marc-Andre, and he's a big fan, and I respect that. And what Marc-Andre Fleury has done this year, after all the criticism that was heaped on him through the playoffs last year and through the summer and everything, he has come back and he has proved that he is a top-flight goaltender. But what I think is the Penguins' weakness right now, and something that they need to address, getting into the point where they get to the playoffs, is, Marc-Andre Fleury cannot be the horse that we ride from now to the end of the season and through the playoffs. The Penguins are going to need somebody to spell him periodically. Thomas Volkun was an adequate backup last year, and it wasn't a mystery illness. The problems that he had with these blood clots, Zach, were life-threatening. And it was a fairly serious thing. If he's able to come back and be the type of goaltender he was last year, the combination of the two of them will give them a chance at the Cup. But with Zach Koff backing up Fleury, I don't think the Penguins have a chance to win the Stanley Cup.
That's kibosh, because when they won the Stanley Cup with their backup goalie, it was all Marc-Andre Fleury. The only reason why they won the Stanley Cup was pretty much Marc-Andre Fleury back there. So regardless,
6 years ago,
the backup goalie is the backup goalie. Nobody knows who the backup goalie is. Who's the backup for the Steelers?
And goaltender, I don't know.
No, in football, who's backup in Big Ben? The number one position in football is quarterback. Who's
Bruce
backup in Big Ben?
Grakowski.
Oh, okay. Well, way to go, because it's probably from over in your area, in Chip's area. That's the same reason why you know that.
Shout out to the Grakowski family, the Del Sardo family.
Yeah,
I'm so
LaSalle
happy for
products.
all of
I
you.
believe
It's a
his
pleasure.
birthday was today.
Keystone Oaks, LaSalle, all the
I believe
connections
it was his
there.
birthday today.
Hey, Jerome Bettis.
Bruce Grakowski.
Jerome Bettis belongs in the Hall of Fame
How did we
in
get to
Canton. Smoking Jim Frazier. And I will also point out that Smoking
that?
Jim
I thought it was
Frazier,
a 36-inch steak.
Peyton Manning has covered the spread more times than I could think of anybody. And they've also ran up the scoreboard a lot with Peyton Manning. So if you got heavy money and you're a heavy gambler, you should like Peyton Manning in the regular season.
Well, I love, yeah.
Hey, I got to interrupt both of you before he talks heavy money. My friend from Pittsburgh Sports Pride wanted to tell Smoking Jim that he's been hitting about 80% of his bets in Vegas. And guess what team he likes for the Super Bowl? I mean,
The
Denver.
Broncos.
Yeah. He said, tell Smoking Jim. So I didn't want to do it privately just because you got heavy money.
What do you see like?
He likes Denver.
You know, you're putting a lot of confidence in Pete Carroll, too, as a head coach in the big game, too. Aside from quarterback, and Russell Wilson.
Well, I'm putting a lot of confidence in Wesley Snipes, who always says Bet on black.
And folks, for those of you guys that know, Wesley Snipes is in jail for tax evasion. He tried to pay his taxes. So hopefully Smoking Frazier pays his taxes.
Smoking Jim ain't my government name. I'm on the run.
No.
I know that.
To speak about the Super Bowl, though, to be honest with you, Peyton Manning hasn't faced a defense like he's going to be facing on Sunday. And right now, Seattle's defense, you know, what Pete Carroll did last year was he blew up the defense completely. And they had a great defense last year. And actually, the defense is better now than it was
They
then.
do have some
That is.
juicers on that team, too.
They have to. They all been caught.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about it.
But,
Their team's all been caught
I believe that that this game, it won't be anything close to a blowout. And I still like the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
And we're giving Super Bowl picks early, folks. We're just going to blow up this whole thing. There's no way.
Sound like Chip wants me to call Macaroni Tony and put a little money on
Hey,
there.
this just in. This is
That's
the
your
amount
other
of
name.
money. This
That's
is the
not
amount
your
of
other
money
name.
that the Pittsburgh Pirates have spent this offseason. $0.00. So you do the math, folks. All those people that went to those games last year.
Let me calculate that.
It's
They
a
had how
joke.
many chances
It's a
and
joke.
multiply that times 0?
It's a joke.
Chip is starting to ring it.
It's a lot of chip money. It's a lot of chip
And he's
money.
criticizing them.
It's a lot of chip money. It's 17 days until the same guys.
People like him make me laugh. You know, I mean, the season hasn't even started. Haven't played one game. They haven't gotten one sit-up in spring training yet. And
Moves, sometimes moves are won in the off season.
Okay. And your recent spat of success is evident of that?
Yes. Yes.
I can't
Yes.
figure this out.
I train hard in the
I'm just going to
off-season,
agree
folks.
to disagree on
I
the Seattle.
practice.
The Buccos, I'm saying wait and see. Because who knows? The Steelers were always called a cheap team, too, that they don't spend money. So think about that for when things go bad. They say, oh, the Steelers won't spend any money. We got a $100 million quarterback. We got a 2-cent line, but they have got first-round picks. So, I mean, you can bring all these things up. It's all your opinion.
The
facts.
Steelers are spending money. They're bringing Smoking
No, I
Jim
said they
Frazier
were
back.
accused.
Yay.
You know what it costs? It costs 2 36-ounce steaks. And
Depending on who makes those 2 36-ounce steaks, it could be expensive.
I have no idea, but
Jerome
All
Bettis
black cooks down there.
I heard the unemployment rate is going down.
in Gateway.
No, wherever that is. We didn't. First time the Gateway's been mentioned 2 days on our show. Just say that's a new world record, BPTV record. Just wanted you to know. Anything else you want to revisit, you gentlemen here?
Yeah, I think we've said it all.
Did we cover it? Because we can talk Steelers and Penguins later on.
Sure.
I usually have that in there, and whatever else. I still want to find out heavy money. We'll have to have that segment a little later, too. So please don't tip anybody off. Stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Call in 412-831-3304. I will answer your call, and no question will be too dumb for us to answer, because there are some people that think we're too smart. You just heard the conversation. Join in.
It goes downhill in a hurry.
It just did. I just wanted to let them know, because they're watching us on Verizon 32 all over the area. Only Comcast 7 in Bethel
The
Park.
Nuttings laugh all the way to the bank.
What's wrong with that? You're a businessman, too. I want you laughing to the bank.
So does-
See Brunner
So
Contracting.
does every other owner of a professional sports
Hey,
franchise.
but listen to this one. Jerry Jones.
We're still revisiting
Jerry
things.
Jones spends lots of money.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of championships in the last 20 years to hang his hat
He
on,
got
right?
more championships more recently than the Pirates do.
You're mixing apples and oranges.
I know. We always do
Football's
that.
much
When was
different.
the last time they made the playoffs?
Oh, well, just now we finally did it after 21 years, so it's not like you can really
Don't
like, hang
matter.
your hat on
We read
anything.
last year.
We're on a streak.
Now it might be 21 years until the next time.
No. It could be as soon as this year. We're just not sure.
And listen, like I said, I'm waiting to listen to who they went out and brought in to make them better in their areas that they knew that they
You know
needed
what?
to.
There might be a bet, Smoking Jim,
and I'm
on.
not talking about in the minor league.
There might be a bet. Can the Pirates win? Oh, my goodness.
We got a call.
Hopefully this is a good friend.
Hello, caller. Can you state your name and ask us a question?
Ollie Hunter from Lawrenceville. How you guys doing tonight?
Ollie, we're nice and warm in here. I hope you're nice and warm where you're at.
Oh, yeah, we're doing fine. Just don't go outside, that's all. Hey, listen, you guys, Al, you're pushing for the Broncos to win this thing.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm taking the Seahawks, and I'll tell you why. With Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas out there as defenders on the pass, they've made a lot of interceptions this year. And one of the reasons is they were both defenders before. They used to be receivers, and now they're defenders.
That's right. Good call.
Ollie, that's a great point. Except I'm still going with Denver. It's going to be a cold playing field, and I think those hands are suspect when you're on defense as long as they are. And I think with the stem cell research that they have and the stem cells that Peyton Manning has had, he now can play in cold weather.
It's not like Peyton Manning's throwing to nobody either. He has a good repertoire of weapons to throw to, too. So let's not forget that either. So it's not like there's bums that he's throwing to.
And Ollie, we mean no disrespect. You know, this is our opinions just like yours. You based it on some facts there with the defense. But you know they've been on some illegal drugs, and most of the defense and players have been caught with that. Whoop, we lost them. Hello? Ollie, is that you?
Hello?
Hello? Caller, who are you?
This is Bill Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Bill Hutchinson.
Team Hutch.
I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Nice to hear you on the show. We heard rumors you might give us a call.
Yeah. I told Zach I'd give you guys a call, so here I am.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to people that may not know you? I know you're a boxer. Tell them who you are, how much you weigh, when you're fighting, and let's go from there.
My name is Bill Hutchinson. I fight in the 140-pound weight class, which would be junior welterweight or super lightweight. And I'm fighting February 8th in the Serbian Culture Center. Oh, it's just before Weir in West Virginia, so it's not too far. 15 minutes from Robinson for all you Pittsburgh folks.
We should go.
We're going to try to go there. We had Ed Lattimore on the show last night. He was telling us about the Serbian club, how close it is, and that's where he had his first fight, and he knocked the guy out. So we're looking for a lot of action, Bill.
Yeah, you're going to see it. Ed's got some power, and I'll tell you what, even though I fight at 140, I'm bringing some power too, so don't be surprised you see me knock my guy out as well.
Well, I like people that are confident, Bill, so that's awesome.
Absolutely.
We wish you the best of luck. Anything else you want to say here, buddy?
Hey, I just want to thank you guys for having me on, and I want to see everybody come out and support on February 8th. We've got Team Hutch in this building and Made Men Promotions. They're putting on a ton of shows for a lot of the fighters around here. It's a great promotional company to get everybody's career off the ground, and I just think it's a great thing what's going on with them right now. So come out and support and check out a night of great fights.
Hey,
Well said, Bill.
Hey, Bill, this is Smoking Jim, man. You're one of my favorite fighters, man. I tell you what, you bring it. You're like the Tasmanian devil out there. You hit hard. You're a fan favorite. The crowd loves you. Are you still being trained by Tommy Yankello?
Yes, I am. I actually just left there right now. I didn't even get a chance to shower yet. That's how much I value you guys.
Well, tell me.
Oh, you got to come on our show Monday night after you win.
There you
You're
go.
welcome up to Sip Sports Bar right up in Dormont there, Billy. Come on up.
Hey.
We'll interview you.
Hey, you know what? I'll do that under one condition. You guys got to have a victory beer with me.
Whoa.
I'll have a root beer with you, Bill, but please tell Tommy Yankello I said congratulations for getting inducted into the Beaver County Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I will definitely let him know. Thank you, and thank you for the kind words.
Definitely. And
Good luck on the 8th.
And you also, this show's being broadcast out live in the Verizon area, all over Pittsburgh, from Uniontown up to Cranberry, Wexford, all throughout the city, Billy. And then this show will be presented again throughout the week between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock till Saturday night and a couple other times too. So they'll get to hear your voice and your promotion there on February 8th at the Serbian Club.
Tell us who you're fighting on the 8th at the Serbian Club.
They got a guy, I forget his first name, it's Coverson out of Detroit. Got a southpaw.
Whoa, another Southpaw's fighting. Nice. Well, I know you'll take care of business.
What's your record, Bill?
I'm 8-1 right now, soon to be 9-1.
All right.
There we go.
Good man.
I'll take you up on that drink at Sip Sports Bar after your victory on the Monday after, okay?
I will see you there.
All right,
Good deal.
Bill.
We'll
Good
see
luck.
We'll see you down there, Hutch, down at the Serbian Center on the 8th.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Take care.
We got some great fighters, man. Some great area fighters coming up, man.
There's our boxing segment.
Yeah.
We're jumping around everywhere. I don't know what to do with these segments, Little Z.
I tell you what, we may go. I'll try.
How
Okay.
good does it feel to be Little Z when all the best fighters are with me?
Z, that hat's not fitting very well right now. I see it stretching a little bit. What happened there? Welcome to the show.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're allowed to be proud. We appreciate you here, or you wouldn't be on the show.
Thanks
You'd have
for
your
having
own
me.
somewhere else on CBS. We know that. No problem. Or the
Serious.
fan.
It would have to be
Or
serious.
you could be
Satellite
on the
radio.
fan. I see you on the fan someday with those guys. You
I
might
gotta-
fit right in with
I'll be
them.
on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Are you serious?
No censorship.
Get on. I'd like to hear the uncut version. All right, we got another segment. We revisited everything and more. You got a couple phone callers. Shout out to Ollie. Thanks. We didn't get to finish your point. We got it that you think Seattle's going to win.
Ollie.
Frazier. I'm not smoking Jim.
And you can see that picture of Ollie and Frazier as old men. I posted that right before I left
That's a
the
great
house smoking,
picture. That's a
Jim.
really good
It's a classic. If you go look, you got a smartphone, quit playing around. Here, check it out on mine. Sorry, Jim.
Things are breaking.
All right, we're going to revisit. No revisitation. We covered every subject known to this panel. Now we do a segment on Sip Sports Bar. If you're listening to the show and you didn't go get a hot chocolate or something, or turn the heat up to 90, or call Brenner Contracting because you're having some problems getting in your house, you know that we talk about Sip Sports Bar. Every Monday night, it's Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sip Sports Bar. It's a great time. We had great guests. We even had the Western Pennsylvania Poker Club playing poker for entertainment purposes only. They had Chips, not Chip Hayner.
Did you
He was
imagine
with
smoking
us.
Jim betting for entertainment purposes only?
There was no heavy money on the table, but they enjoyed it. They're going to come back in about a month, and we're going to interview more of their players. So we're going to have some fun there. And I wanted to announce a debut. Smoking Jim, this is one of your favorite waitresses out there. Brandy debuted on our show. Little Z, she gave one of the best performances ever for a bartender waitress on our show, discussing the menu and more. And it was her first time. It was a surprise. I called her up after she waited on a couple tables.
Tracy never went up and got interviewed, really. So
Yes, she did.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, you missed it. Even though you were there, you missed it because you had a streak going on. I don't know if I should bring this up, but he was late more times than Smoking Jim coming to the show. He had the record there because he had a 30-some streak. I hate to bring up the records, but I'm keeping all the records here.
Mario
No,
Tempest,
that's all right.
Tempest reminded me last night that he's building a streak of his own that's starting to get up there on Monday night. So he said he's going after it.
I don't know. We'll have to check what he is.
Mona V, man, that'll keep you strong.
Mona V strong in the neighborhood. We'll just tell him when we're not going to have a show, then we'll have a show. So if you need it. Oh, sorry about that, Maria. But anyhow, there's all these specials. They're even talking about a seafood special on Sunday. It's a coming attraction, Smoking Jim. There's a Super Bowl party at Sip Sports Bar this Sunday. Smoking Jim's going to be there, and I heard the ladies bring it. I don't know if I can announce it. Smoking Jim, can I announce that?
Yay!
China's going to be in the house.
Yay!
So I also got an invite. Smoking Jim asked me to come up if I want to see his heavy money. So I might come up just to find out what
me
that
too.
is.
I'm
Tuesday is Camp Petey's night up there. 50 cents a slice. I'm ready to go up there now because of all this sports talk and arguments. I'm in my glory. Chief, little shout out to you. We don't always have arguments like this, and it wasn't even with me. So I might have to go for a couple slices of Camp Petey's at Sip Sports Bar tonight. 50 cents a slice. Wednesday night, drink specials. Smoking Jim brings the ladies, and they come there just to see him. Thursday night is 25-cent wing night. Great night. We go there. Friday night, they got entertainment. Saturday night, happy hour specials. Biggest Fish in Pittsburgh comes out every Friday. Check that out. They have lunch. They start at noon. Parking on the streets. Free parking after 4. That's my Sips announcement. Now we're going to go into one of my favorite segments. Smoking Jim, are you ready? Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Hey, thanks, Al Levine. And the shout out Friday, actually lunchtime, me and a friend of the show, Jody, we had lunch and we had the big fish sandwich.
Did you share a fish on the show?
Slick Move Guide, one of the great books. So we're trying to strategize.
Did you read that? Did you read that?
No.
Did you read that book?
Hey, Zach,
I skimmed it.
I did read that. I read the book 2 years ago. I actually gave my copy to Stephanie Hayner.
Yay!
And then she gave it back after she took care of business.
After she applied what was in the book, and it's great
Successfully.
material. Jody, that's a great guide, and anybody that will be moving anytime, it's good material to have. Use it wisely.
And on a serious note, all the things that she has in there you can use in any type of move, not just with
Where
the
can
athletes.
you get that book at?
You can buy it through
The
Amazon,
Slick Moving
I think.
Guide.
Go to their site, Slick Move Guide. Check it out. And you can also see
Are they
it.
in the magazine?
Hold it. You can also see it. Look at how he's prompting me. I'm so cold.
That's one of the pages I'm on.
Hey, we run the pick and roll.
Whoa. Whoa. Where is it? Oh. Whoa. It's way back. Where'd I miss it? What happened? The pages are sticking together.
There we go, folks.
You know what? This is
Too
the first
smooth.
fumble of the year.
Too
I'm not
smooth.
touching that one.
Where'd it go? I can't find it. Here we go. I missed it on that turn. John, I know you can't get this. Slick Move Guide. Yeah, John Tiger Kiger's in the house. Here's where you go. Check our advertiser. Jody's the best. We're cross-branding stuff. She's put up our Pittsburgh. Oh, buddy, we have to teach you about this. Yeah, you have to. We'll explain that to you after the show.
Yeah, we'll do some splaining.
We're on their site. That was
Ask me a question.
Are you ready for your fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac?
Yeah, he's ready.
It's going to be uninterrupted starting now.
Hey, thanks, Al. Here's the fiction and fact this week, and it go back to 1986, and in honor of the late great Curtis Bray. Back in 1986, the number one team in the country was North Hills Indians. They were a powerful team. The number two team in the country that year was Emmett Smith's high school in Pensacola, Florida, and the number three team in America was Gateway Gators. The championship, WPIL championship game that year was played at Three Rivers Stadium. Set a WPIL record for attendance. Over 25,000 fans came out to see the powerhouse North Hills and Gateway, and it was a battle. It was a defensive battle, of course. Gateway had the number one defensive player in America and the number one player in America the next year, Curtis Bray, was able to shut down that powerful North Hills team. Gateway knocked off the number one team in the country 7-6 thanks to quarterback Terry Smith, who's now an assistant coach of Penn State University. And
we're going to try to not interrupt them, Z. I can't. I apologize. I did it first.
So that's my fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. 1986, record crowd at Three Rivers Stadium. Two of the top three teams in the country was playing that day. And, of course, Gateway came out on top.
In honor of Curtis Bray, may rest in peace, and our sympathy still goes out to his family.
Correct.
And it's sad to lose somebody at the young age. What was he, 43?
43.
That is a sad thing, and we just think the most of that, and we're not going to mention any more about Gateway. Thank you. And that's not going to happen, folks. But
Here we
Chip,
go.
this is one of my favorite times of the night. Chip's trivia time.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. And I'm going to go kind of little bit, throw a little baseball in there, throw a little basketball in there. The Pitt Panthers came up a little short against the Duke Blue Devils, and the Pitt Panthers got a lot of work to do. So they got to work on playing defense a little better. And but first bit of trivia for you today is baseball related, and Stan Musial, a Denora native who recently passed away, Hall of Famer, played for the St. Louis Cardinals his entire career. He retired in 1963, and he had surpassed these hard to achieve milestones: 3,000 hits, 300 home runs, 600 doubles, and 100 triples. Since his retirement, only one other Major League player has accomplished these career milestones.
I have no idea.
That would be George Brett. He's the only player since 19 to pass that. The person that came in closest was Hammer and Hank Aaron. He had 98 triples. He didn't hit 100 triples. That's the
he
first.
Didn't use any pine tar. That's what happened.
Okay, and I've always been an advocate of this age of specialization with pitchers and how if a guy pitches 200 innings, he's considered an innings eater now in baseball. The last pitcher in the major leagues to pitch 300 innings in a season happened all the way back in 1980. The left-hander, Steve Carlton, for the Philadelphia Phillies, was the last major league pitcher to pitch 300 innings in a season. I find that a pretty amazing statistic. Next up is there's one major league player in his career who not only won the Rookie of the Year award, he won the League MVP award, he was a World Series MVP, and an All-Star Game MVP. And on top of that, he happened to be the first African-American manager in Major League Baseball. Now, that might be Frank Robinson. Yes, sir. Frank Robinson played for the Cincinnati Reds, and he played. Yeah, so can my friend up here. And
I didn't read it. I knew it.
You do remember we used to have a co-host on this show, Big Mike Butera, and he was a devout Yankees fan. And I'm throwing this one out here for Big Mike, and there are two players in Major League Baseball history that have been on 9 World Series champions. Wow. And those two players, of course, would have played for the New York Yankees. Yeah. Joe DiMaggio played on 9 World Series championships. Yogi Berra played on 10 World Championships. Yogi Berra, the proud pop of Dale Berra, disgraced shortstop of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Don't bring that trivia out.
Now to throw a little basketball. One more baseball one. There's one player in Major League Baseball who has amassed 500 hits for 4 different teams. And the list of names of possibles are Rusty Staub, Reggie Sanders, Dave Winfield, Pete Rose, Ricky Henderson, or Gary Sheffield. Anybody got a guess?
I'm going to go Pete Rose.
Rusty Staub, the person you would least guess. Rusty Staub played his career. Rusty Staub played for the Montreal Expos. He played for the amazing Mets in 1968. No, 1969.
69.
Yeah. So now I got a couple of quick basketball.
I can't interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what? The amazing Mets, 69.
Okay, 69.
Only 2 schools that are in the NCAA. There's only 2 schools that have never played in the NCAA basketball tournament. The University of Alaska and the University of Maine. The only 2 NCAA teams that have never made the tournament. Then there's one individual who, as a player, he won a gold medal in the Olympics. He won the MVP of the ABA All-Star Game. And as a head coach, he won an NCAA championship and an NBA championship.
Read that again. Let me see. Say that again.
As a player, he won a gold medal. He won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Okay.
He was the MVP of the ABA All-Star Game. He was as a head coach, he won the NCAA title, and he won the NBA championship. He won the NCAA title with Kansas. Danny Manning, Larry Brown.
Wow. Larry Brown, that's right, North Carolina.
Yes, he did.
Larry Brown.
That was some great trivia right there.
And then last but not least,
I'm smoking.
Okay, I'm going to name off 6 universities, and there's one of them that did not win back-to-back NCAA titles. The University of Cincinnati, University of Oklahoma State, Florida, San Francisco, UNLV, and Kentucky. Now, which of those schools did not win back-to-back NCAA championships?
UNLV.
Zach hit it on the head. And the reason why UNLV didn't win back-to-back was because of Christian Laettner and the Duke Blue Devils. And that's why I tied that one in.
Wow.
Nice.
That was good.
That was good.
That was a good
Now, if I might...
Trivia. Let me end the Chips trivia time, and you can have...
All right, now, if I might deflect some of this baseball to you, Chip, since we're in the winter meetings here in the studio. I'm
Is this
looking
like
at the
breaking
top
news?
50 baseball free agents at MLB.com, and I just want to show you what other teams are doing in our division. Johnny Peralta, rated the number 15 top free agent, was signed by the Cardinals. Let's see here. We got some more Cardinals. Well, the Brewers made a splash. They signed Mark Reynolds. The Cardinals signed Mark Ellis. I mean, I'm just looking.
All-star.
I'm just looking down this list though, and I don't in the top 50 though. I don't see any Pirates signing anybody though. So how can you get better when you don't sign anybody?
Do you really understand anything about the game of baseball? I know that you've never played the game, but just because
I've
somebody's
played
on a
baseball.
list,
I've played
just because
baseball.
somebody's on a list doesn't mean that he's worth paying what somebody else was willing to pay them. You know, I mean. Now let's see what these players do, and if you want to write down the list of those players, we'll monitor their statistics through the year.
That list
and
will
we'll
be there.
find out if really these players were being overpaid or underpaid, and whether it was a good move to sign them or not sign them. That would be the
Challenge has
measuring
been
stick.
set.
Hey,
Because
that's
I know,
fine.
to be honest with you, I have a lot of faith in the direction that the Pirates are moving, and I believe that they are going to continue to put a winning product on the field. And I'm really going to.
But you do have to admit though, there was times there last season though where the platoon just didn't work, and there were, it would have been nice to go out and solve a couple, because you got cornerstones and you got areas that you don't have to worry about unless there's an injury. That's a given.
Right.
But there's also a couple other deficient areas where it would have been nice just to see them try and go out there and maybe make improvements.
And they made some moves that got them into the playoffs last year by bringing in Bird. They brought in Justin Morneau, and Morneau, was a nice pick. Defensively, he was great.
He got overpaid by the Rockies.
He got 3 RBIs the entire time he played for the Pirates, which, to be honest with you, Garrett Jones did better than that in a game.
Yeah, but our
and they
problem
got rid
is
of
he hit
Garrett Jones,
9 home
too.
runs before he got here in a month.
17, yeah. He had 17
9 in a month.
and then he didn't do anything once he got here.
That was it. We didn't time it right, and who knows?
But
those 9 home runs.
But free
were bad.
agency in baseball, what the Pirates, what contributed to them being consistent losers for over 20 years was that the Pirates jumped off at somebody that got on a hot streak and they overpaid them and they ended up handcuffing themselves financially, and then they got somebody that just was a complete dud and it was a failure. They gave up draft picks, they depleted their farm system, and right now, I've got to believe that the coaches that they have in place, the young talent that they've got to have come up, you got to give them a chance to do their thing. And you know what? If the Pirates end up falling flat on their faces, I'll accept all the criticism in the world. But I just believe that they are moving in the right direction.
Well,
That's what opinions are for, folks. The facts will be the W's at the end of the year, for good or bad. So we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to enjoy the ride.
You already have.
like I said, I don't. There's just a couple small deficiencies, like I said, where I would have liked to see them go out, because we saw last year glimpses of what we have in the minor leagues, and it wasn't necessarily getting it done, So,
But they do mature, and younger players either get better or they are gone.
Lambeau.
And who knows? Andrew Lambeau hit over 30 home runs in the minor leagues last year. The kid's 24 years old.
I'm not saying, hey, you're 24 years old, you're washed up, kid, you're never going to make it. All I'm saying is that, Bird, he probably got overpaid. He's an ex-juicer. So, I mean, I'm not taking it out on the Nutties for not keeping the guys they brought in for the run.
And the Phillies signed him because the Phillies are desperate. They've got an aging team, and they're trying to get one last shot on him. But what they've done in the process is they've depleted their farm system, and they're going to have trouble.
Well, I think that was also a problem, too, though, where we were making bad picks. And when you keep making all these top picks, and they Tommy John surgery, and they're blowing out arms and shoulders, it kind of gets, it catches up to you.
Exactly.
But it'll be interesting, and like I said, that's one of the things I love about.
So
baseball.
you're saying that you're even more confident going, since we're 17 days away from the pitchers and catchers, you're more confident going into this season than you
Than
were
I was last year?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you think that the expectations are even higher, and we're going to do even better this season than we did last year?
I honestly believe we're going to win.
Well,
the
obviously,
division.
because you said we won the division.
Last year we were a wild card team. I believe we're going to be a division winner this year.
I don't think it'll be with 94 wins.
Well, you
I
know
think
what? They
they're
may
gonna
win the
have less.
division with less.
Well, that's my point. I think last year was a little aberration with 3 teams.
So you don't think that the Reds or the Cardinals got better than the Pirates in the offseason? even on paper. Just looking at it on paper.
I mean, look at the Cardinals relied heavily on Carlos Beltran last year, and he's gone. Okay, and I believe the Yankees overpaid for him, but that's what the Yankees do, and they can afford to do that. They've got $1 billion television contract of their own that's separate from the national contract. So the Yankees, the kid they picked up,
pay the luxury
the kid that they paid from the Japanese leagues, they paid him $155 million.
That
was a bidding war too.
Wait, but they paid $20 million for the right to negotiate with him. So they actually paid $175 million for him. That's never going to happen here.
He might be worth it.
Who knows? I mean,
it's only worth it, Smoking Jim, since you're a gladiator and an emperor, when they win. Because if they don't win,
what has Ichiro ever won? Speaking of great, hitters and talent from Japan.
Probably at this point in his career, if you were to add up what he got in the Japanese leagues and the hits that he's got in the major leagues, he's probably got more hits than Pete Rose. He's probably one of the greatest pure hitters to play baseball ever. The only thing is, the first 10 years of his career, we didn't see him.
Exactly.
He's closing in on 3,000 hits. And you think about 3,000 hits. That's averaging 200 hits a season for 15 years. That's phenomenal, okay? And he's closing in on 3,000 hits in less than 15 seasons. That's a pretty amazing.
Without juice, without gambling on his team or against his team.
Hey, I guess there's something to be said for fish heads and rice.
I'll take some sushi anytime.
I never had it. It's pretty good.
Now, let me ask you this, though.
Okay.
The competition in the Japanese baseball league could be like with Dennis Rodman in North Korea in the basketball game. So who's to say what the talent level is over there in Japan? I'm sure it's substantially better over here.
Why are we taking their players?
They are good at little.
Why are we
How
taking
many players? How many?
Three?
But Zach,
4 players in
What
the
happened
league. You know how many
with,
players are in a Major League Baseball roster?
I don't have a number, but you know what? Here's the thing that even around the world in the Latin American countries, you see they have the World Baseball Classic every year, and I don't think the Americans have ever won that.
They got some pretty women over there.
Yeah, they do.
Well, listen, I don't think it's no secret that baseball is not the strongest American sport in the country. You know, that if we went to play the world. But I'll tell you something that they don't want to play us in. They don't want to play us in football. And I'm talking real football. I'm not talking soccer. Because we're not the best in soccer either.
Sport in the world.
But you put together whatever football team you want in any other country and we'll come, and I'm not talking about the Pro Bowl either. Yeah. We'll bring Richard Sherman to your door.
We're not talking Pro Bowl. Thanks for mentioning.
We'll bring Richard Sherman, the Sherman
I didn't talk it because I didn't watch it. I boycotted the Pro Bowl because it was a
What
joke.
time is it on?
Well, you would have been delighted to see that a Kansas City Chief linebacker took out their star running back Jamal Charles and laid him completely out.
Really?
And the running back even said, "Charles, I didn't even think my guy was going to do that."
You want to know what I found funny the day after the Pro Bowl
Let's talk Pro Bowl.
people didn't talk about the game. They talked about the uniforms.
They were ugly.
Hey, they look like this.
We got to get everybody's official Super Bowl.
That's what
prediction.
you're
Okay.
right, Smoke.
Yeah, we did.
You guys start first because everybody knows my pick.
Start with Zach.
I'm going with Broncos. I'm going with Peyton Manning and company.
You wear Seattle colors?
That's about as close as I get to the West Coast too.
These were Oregon.
You want a number? I guess we'll go.
You don't have to give
No,
it.
we don't.
Give a number.
What's the
Give a
point
number.
spread right
Give a
now?
number.
What's the point
I
spread,
think
boss?
it's 5 in Denver. Denver 5 by 5, I think, right now.
Denver by 5?
I think.
Well, I don't know, buddy.
Well,
I'm
for
looking
you at home, I look to tease that.
I only got, when I put mine in early, I only got 2.5.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all I needed.
So you
It's been
think.
going up. It's been
Hold
going
it.
up.
Zach says Broncos. Smoking Jim.
Well-
who are you? Tell us the truth now, because you always play little games.
Hey, I'm an honest man.
I know.
John Fox will never win a Super Bowl. By the way, he's the coach of.
Listen, the last time he had Jake Dell on him, this time he got Peyton Manning. So at least he got a better missile delivery
I
system.
remember when he was at defensive coordinator at Pitt before he came.
Do you? Is he a friend of yours? Because every friend of yours in sports, you talk bad about how they do.
Well, since you opened the door, here's something that a lot of people don't know. John Fox actually was a pretty good college defensive back. Played for San Diego University. And
Is that
the
a
other,
black school?
It was close to being black at that time.
Compton.
But John Fox is a white guy. Of course, he's a head coach in the NFL. And The other defensive back his same year was Herman Edwards. So they had a pretty good defensive backfield, and Herman Edwards went on to have a great NFL career.
Yeah,
for Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes,
but
so Fox can't win it. Peyton can't win it. You're all in on Seattle.
yeah, I think that and the coach for Seattle Seahawks, Carroll's doing Pete Carroll does an excellent job. So I'm going with the Thugs in Seattle.
That's nice. And he also come out with medicinal marijuana would be the
I
best
see
thing
that
for
on
their
your website.
players.
That's a good. How do you find all that information?
I can't tell you
You're
my
the
secret.
best. You're the best.
He steals it off of me.
Not all of it. You steal some of it off of me and repost
You saying Pete Carroll got that third eye?
We're running down it's a 3-minute warning, I think. If John can get the confirmation from Aaron Ward and Devin Shea, and George is assisting him in there, if we get the final countdown, we're going to get Chip's pick right now.
And I've always said defense wins championships. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks.
And everybody knows, I've been saying for a month, Broncos. I don't care what the score is. I don't care if Seattle holds the team to 14 points. That's an average. Somebody scored more than 14. Look for Peyton Manning to win this game. And he's on a team that can win it, in spite of what you say.
Seattle 42.
He's been healed.
Seattle 42, Denver 14. That's my pick.
What?
I was going 27-21.
Wow. I gotta come up with a number then.
I'm
All
not.
right.
I'm not.
Then I'll stay with Chip. No number. Broncos win.
But watching the game with China, I'm going to enjoy the game.
You know what? I'm going to come up and just watch you watching
He said
China.
I'm going to drool.
I want to see when you're eating those plain wings again. That's what I want to eat.
2 dozen points.
Best meatball last night. 2 weeks ago.
It was the best meatball that I had in 3 weeks. So I appreciate that.
Hey, thanks for your son for coming out to the show finally in the first time in a
I
long
don't know
time.
if he's watching it tonight, but Drew was in the house with his friend Corey. They come up, and they couldn't believe what a nice show we have. So they may come back again.
Love to have him back.
It was a great show.
Great to meet him.
Well, thank you very much. And he'll be heading out to the Navy March
Be
12th.
safe.
He got to cut all that good hair off, huh?
He's letting it grow just for that purpose. He normally doesn't have it that long. Just
It'll grow back.
definitely.
Mary Ann knows it's also. She counts on
He
it.
almost made an emergency call today. Can you cut this hair? But it was too cold to go into downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh, man. Tell her
No,
to
she
go to,
wasn't there.
tell her to go to
They don't
Satara's
always
Barbershop. They were open.
Well, folks, you know the Super Bowl's coming up. We'll be watching it. We'll have updates there. Go Penguins. Pitt, get out there and win again. Z, what else do you want to say? About 10 seconds you can do it. 3 subjects.
3 subjects. I want to thank everybody at home for watching. I want to thank the callers that we got in tonight. Ollie from Lawrenceville, and we got Team Hutchinson, who will be fighting on February 8th, along with Big Ed Lattimore. See Sammy Vasquez on February 1st, locally at Elizabeth at court time.
Smoking Jim.
One word. Sweet 16.
Chip.
Hey, enjoy the sports weekend, everybody. Last football game of the year. Get your fix. It'll be a while before we see it again.
And thanks for liking us. We're up to almost 2340. Devin Shea, thanks for giving us a clock. Now I know you got 12 seconds, 11 seconds. Oh, John, thank you very much. Aaron Ward, thanks for turning on the show. I appreciate it. George, thanks for being here. Dave Cable, thanks for all that you do. And everybody watching, thank you. And thanks for liking our page.
Battle Bull 6.
Stay warm.